Hello dear students, today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, scales of measurement. Before going through this lecture, first let's have a look on its objectives. First, to understand the meaning and concept of a scale in measurement. Second, to get familiar with different types of scales of measurement and their characteristics. And third, to differentiate between different types of scales of measurement. First, let us discuss meaning of measurement. Measurement is a systematic process of obtaining the quantified degree to which a trait or an attribute is present in an individual or object. In other words, it is a systematic assignment of numerical values or figures to a trait or an attribute in a person or object. In education, the numerical value of scholastic ability, aptitude, achievement, etc. can be measured and obtained using instruments such as paper and pencil test. It means that the values of the attribute are translated into numbers by measurement. First, a measurement takes place when a test is given and a score is obtained. Second, if the test collects quantitative data, the score is a number. Third, if the test collects qualitative data, the score may be a phrase or words such as excellent. Educational measurement deals with the process of obtaining a quantitative degree of achievement of objectives set for an educational setting, and evaluation adds to it the value judgment. Measurement in education is used to, first, to determine what knowledge, skills, abilities, habits and attitudes have been acquired. Second, to determine what progress or extent of learning has been attained. And third, to determine strengths, weaknesses, difficulties and needs of students. Now moving to another important topic, scales of measurement. Measurement is a broad term that refers to the systematic determination of outcomes or characteristics by means of some sort of assessment device. A scale is a device by which we measure things. In fact, various kinds of such scales are used for measuring the physical phenomena. For example, heat is measured by the thermometer in degrees. Height is measured by a tape in inches or meters, etc. Thus, a scale is the measurement and arrangement of objects with respect to relationship. In order to attain accuracy of an effort in our daily life or to compare objects, events and phenomena, measurement is carried out everywhere. We measure height, weight or area by using a universally acceptable scale of centimeter, inch, yard, feet, etc. and every one of us arrives almost at the same conclusion. Such an accurate measurement is not possible in psychology or education due to the absence of such a scale on one hand and due to the metaphysical nature of the objects, events or phenomena on the other. For example, we do not measure the intelligence or achievement of a person just by taking an inch tape as we do in measuring a land. All the measurements in psychology and education are only indirect. In order to measure the intelligence or achievement of a child, the child is first of all made to do some activities related to the phenomenon. Then these activities are measured by using some scales and conclusions are drawn on the basis of norms experience. It is clear that educational measurement can seldom be done at the same level as physical measurement. The goal should be to measure as precisely as possible, approaching the accuracy of physical measurements. But due to practical limitations, sometimes the best can be done in education is mere ordering or ranking of individuals. Still, we can develop a consistent scheme for classifying measurement scales according to different levels of refinement. Theoretically, a measuring scale can have one or more of the following mathematical attributes. First, magnitude or order. Second, an equal interval between adjacent units. Third, an absolute 0 point. It is generally agreed that there are 4 kinds of measurement scales, according to corresponding levels of measurement. A brief discussion of these scales is given as: first, nominal scale. Nominal scale is simply a system of assigning number symbols to events in order to label them. The word nominal is derived from nomen, the Latin word for the name. Nominal scales are used for labeling variables without any quantitative value. Nominal scales could simply be called as labels. It is the lowest level of measurement. A nominal scale is simply some placing of data into categories without any order or structure. A simple example of a nominal scale is the terms we use. For example, religions as the names of religion are categories where no ordering is implied. Other examples are gender, medium of instruction, school types, and so on. United States, Mexico, and India, on the other hand, are examples of nations. Here, the numbers do not have numeric implications, they are simply convenient labels. Now let us discuss characteristics of nominal scale. First, a nominal scale is the lowest level of measurement and is most often used with variables that are qualitative, that is categorical in nature, rather than quantitative, that is continuous. Second, when a nominal scale is used, the variable is divided into its several categories. Third, measurement with a nominal scale really amounts to classifying the objects and giving them the name of the category to which they belong. And fourth, there is no quantitative relationship between the categories. Fifth, a fundamental property of nominal scales is that of equivalence, that is, all members of a given class are the same from the standpoint of the classification variable. Sixth, a nominal scale does not possess any of the mathematical attributes of magnitude, equal interval, or absolute 0 point. It merely allows categorization of objects into mutually exclusive categories. Now let's discuss ordinal scale. The lowest level of the ordered scale that is commonly used is the ordinal scale. The ordinal scale places events in order, but there is no attempt to make the intervals of the scale equal in terms of some rule. Rank orders represent ordinal scales and are frequently used in research relating to qualitative phenomena. A student's rank in his graduation class involves the use of an ordinal scale. One has to be very careful in making statement about scores based on ordinal scales. For instance, if A's position in his class is 10 and B's position is 40, it cannot be said that A's position is 4 times as good as that of B. The statement would make no sense at all. Ordinal scales only permit the ranking of items from highest to lowest. Ordinal measures have no absolute value and the real differences between adjacent ranks may not be equal. Thus, the use of an ordinal scale implies a statement of greater than or less than. That is, an equality statement is also acceptable, without our being able to state how much greater or less. Now let's discuss characteristics of ordinal scale. First, it possesses a relatively low level of the property of magnitude. Second, it also allows determination of whether A is greater than B, A is equal to B, or A is less than B. Third, the rank order of the objects being measured according to whether they possess more, less, or the same amount of the variable being measured. Fourth, although this scale allows better than, equal to, or less than comparisons, it says nothing about the magnitude of the difference between adjacent units on the scale. Fifth, the ordinal scale does not have the property of equal intervals between adjacent units. Now let's discuss interval scale. With an interval scale, equal differences between values have equal quantitative meaning. For this reason, it can be seen that an interval scale provides more quantitative information than an ordinal scale. A good example of interval measurement is the Fahrenheit scale used to measure temperature. With the Fahrenheit scale, the difference between 70 degrees and 75 degrees is equal to the difference between 80 degrees and 85 degrees. In other words, the units of measurement are equal throughout the full range of the scale. However, the interval scale also has a limitation. It does not have a true 0 point. A true 0 point means that a value of 0 on the scale represents 0 quantity of the variable being assessed. It should be obvious that the Fahrenheit scale does not have a true 0 point. When the thermometer reads 0 degree Fahrenheit, that does not mean that there is absolutely no heat present in the environment. The central shortcoming of an interval scale is its lack of an absolute 0 point, a location where the user can say that there is a complete absence of the variable being measured. This type of scale often has an arbitrary 0 point, that is, 0 does not indicate the absence of the variable being measured. Now, let us discuss various characteristics of interval scale. The interval scale represents a higher level of measurement than the ordinal scale. Second, it possesses the properties of magnitude and equal intervals between adjacent units but does not have an absolute 0 point. Third, the interval scale possesses the properties of the ordinal scale and has equal intervals between adjacent units. Fourth, the phrase equal intervals between adjacent units means that there are equal amounts of the variable being measured between adjacent units on the scale. Fifth, since with an interval scale there are equal amounts of the variable between adjacent units on the scale, equal differences between the numbers on the scale represent the equal differences in the magnitude of the variable. Now, let us discuss the fourth scale, ratio scale. The most precise scale of measurement is the ratio scale. Numerals used in this scale have all the characteristic meanings and relationship of true numbers. A ratio scale has the equal interval properties of an interval scale but additional features. The ratio scale has a true 0. It is possible to indicate the complete absence of a property. For example, the 0 point on a centimeter scale indicates the complete absence of length or height. One of the advantages enjoyed by practitioners in the physical sciences is the ability to describe variables in ratio scale form. The behavioral sciences are generally limited to describing variables in interval scale form, a less precise type of measurement. Now let's discuss the characteristics of ratio scale. First, ratio scale is the highest scale of measurement. Second, it has all the properties of an interval scale and in addition has an absolute 0 point. Third, a 0 on the ratio scale represents the complete absence of the thing or variable being measured. Fourth, we cannot compute ratios with the interval scale. That is, we cannot say, for example, that 20 degrees Celsius is twice as hot as 10 degrees Celsius. Fifth, however, on the ratio scale, we can indicate ratios. For example, on the Kelvin scale, 20 degree is twice as hot as 10 degree. This table illustrates the 4 scales of measurement. In order to conclude, thus we can say that measurement is a process of quantifying individuals' achievement, personality, attitudes, habits and skills. In the process of measurement, a characteristic is defined and an instrument is selected to measure it. That is a scale. For example, height can be measured with the tape measure, weight can be measured with the weigh scale. A scale is an evaluative device used to measure a thing or variable. There are 4 scales of measurement, namely nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio scales. In nominal scale, numbers or symbols are used to identify an object, person or group and its characteristics. The numbers do not have numeric implications, they are simply convenient labels. Designates an ordering greater than, less than and does not assume that the intervals between numbers are equal. Interval scale designates an equal interval ordering order over the entire scale, but there is no true 0 point on it. The fourth and the highest level of measurement scale is the ratio scale. The ratio scale designates an equal interval ordering with the true 0 point, that is, the 0 implies an absence of the thing being measured. Dear students, with this I conclude this very important topic of today. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. For now, it's time to say goodbye. Stay blessed.